Hello. In the next 7-8 minutes, I'm going to talk to you about a key element in designing human-computer interaction studies, recruiting participants. My name is Mohammad Tahaei. I'm a research associate at the University of Bristol. I did this work in collaboration with my PhD supervisor at the University of Edinburgh, Dr. Vaniea. Participants can directly impact the results of a study. For example, think about privacy, which is interpreted very differently across countries and age groups. Someone from the Middle East may have a completely different sense of privacy compared to someone from a European country. Or someone who only programs using visual tools has different needs compared to someone who has experience writing C code. Therefore, when designing human-computer interaction experiments, researchers should think about who they are creating their technology for and who is going to test it. In the past decade, there has been a growth in empirical software engineering research. This specific type of research tries to make programming more accessible and usable to a broader population. For example, by making programming languages, IDEs, and libraries easier to use. However, one key challenge in these studies is finding participants. For these type of studies, often it's needed to have participants with a programming background. So some researchers recruit computer science students because this population is expected to have some level of understanding of computer programming. Finding professional developers is also a known challenge in these type of studies. Some researchers have started using crowdsourcing services to recruit participants. Some others began harvesting emails and contact information of developers from developer forums such as GitHub, which is actually against some forums' privacy policies. So all of these approaches may not be sustainable over time, and we wanted to better understand and explore different recruitment channels for recruiting participants with programming skills. Our research questions covered three main areas. First, we wanted to understand which recruitment channel amongst the ones that we picked is the most suitable for recruiting participants with programming skills. Second, we wanted to know whether it is possible to use self-reported demographics or programming experiences as a way to screen participants. And lastly, we wanted to understand how different recruitment channels compare regarding security and privacy attitudes and secure software development self-efficacy. We added the last question because one of the difficulties we had in our own research was finding participants for usable security and privacy research directed at software developers, often reported as a challenge by other fellow researchers. To answer our research questions, we chose to distribute our survey on 5 recruitment channels, 4 crowdsourcing websites, and 1 mailing list for computer science students. The crowdsourcing platforms were chosen based on what has been used in the literature in HCI studies. We used Appen, Amazon Mechanical Turk, Clickworker, and Prolific. We also utilized our local mailing list for computer science students, a common practice in empirical software engineering studies. We first screened participants based on 4 questions, mainly interested in whether they would claim to have programming skills. We then chose 5 survey instruments suggested by the literature to assess programming experiences and skills: general security attitudes, general privacy attitudes, and secure software development self-efficacy. We decided to use survey instruments suggested by the literature instead of inventing new survey instruments because we wanted to compare our results with prior work and make our results easier to compare for future researchers. Our dataset is also available online for anyone who wants to use it. I'm going to show you some of our findings, though I highly suggest you look at the paper because there are a lot of interesting insights in there and a huge table that shows how much we spent on each specific step in each particular recruitment channel. So it's going to give you ideas about how much money you need to spend to recruit participants with programming skills. In this chart, you can see participants who took the main survey. All of these participants were screened against the question, do you have programming skills? And if they say yes, they were invited to take the main survey. One of the survey instruments assessed participants' programming knowledge with 5 questions that covered the website that they frequently used for programming, description of a compiler and a recursive function, and the most fitting value for a boolean, and identifying the parameter of a function in a pseudocode algorithm with a loop. As you can see, Appen resulted in 0 participants who passed all these questions. Clickworker and Amazon Mechanical Turk resulted in few participants, which means that they do not seem to be a suitable recruitment channel for recruiting this type of participants. Prolific, however, resulted in a good number of participants. It also enabled us to screen participants without running a survey, making it much easier to screen participants. Computer science students are the most likely to get all the programming questions correct, so they are also a good channel for recruiting participants with programming skills. We were also interested in better understanding whether just asking simple questions, such as how many years of experience do you have in software development, would result in finding participants with programming skills. This table shows our results from our generalized linear model. The outcome variable is getting all the 5 programming questions correct, and the inputs are a bunch of demographics. For example, if we ask people about their role in a software development team, and if they say they are a developer, this can increase their chances of getting programming questions correct by 2.4 times compared to someone who doesn't work in a software development team. Noting that we are not saying that this question should be used to screen participants, but it can be helpful to better understand whether a participant does have programming skills or not by simply asking them if they are a developer or not. Quickly looking at the different channels, computer science students are about 26 times more likely to get the programming questions correct compared to prolific participants. Please see the paper for a comparison of different recruitment channels for privacy and security attitudes, as well as secure software development self-efficacy. Our experience of using various recruitment channels and several other insights that can help researchers recruit participants with programming skills. Thank you for listening.